Hey everyone, welcome back to more Star Dynasties. I'm DisturbingPuppet. So we're continuing here with the Scrooge Sovereignty, my new faction that we've created, the family. I haven't done anything, so no time has passed. I've just kind of assigned some jobs, and we'll hit intern and kind of carry on if people are interested in how it's going. So our overall stats here with our improvements and everything are looking quite good. We're fine as far as how many vassals we have, but I really can't improve it anymore. Money, we had to spend a bunch on some events and things that popped up, so nothing too crazy. So because of unrest going on, what I just did is I assigned some people to do some different jobs. So I am currently now being trained. Previously in diplomacy, I'm also now being trained in military by my father. So getting a little bit of an increase in stats each turn. Other than that, we went ahead and started doing some quelling unrest on our home world because it was going up quite a bit, as well as Electra. I raised the tax rate to medium, which is kind of what it's expected to be, so it doesn't give me a positive or negative as far as diplomacy goes. And then we are working on rebuilding our fleet here in De Crux, because with the really high military capacity that we have, thanks to my father being in charge of the military, we actually have 61 out of 75 ships at this point. So, building that back up a little bit would be fine. If we can get that to around the range of 70 or so, I would be happy. We want to be fairly strong, but money lets me buy mercenaries, so that might be more of what we're kind of looking at. We are mainly producing bombers, it looks like, is kind of our split, and then 30-30 on interceptors and frigates. I don't know that I like that necessarily. It's not awful. It's not a bad mix. We want it to be fairly even because it's sort of a rock, paper, scissors system. But yeah, that's fine. So nothing too crazy. We're rebuilding a fleet, quelling unrest, training me, can't do anything. The other thing that I did was I appointed myself to be the guardian of my heir, my daughter, and then put my wife as the guardian of my other daughter. So that was really about it. That was all my actions, and we're done. So what else can we do? We've got people who don't have any missions, nothing going on. We do want to start doing some scouting of other territories. It seems like I'm in a bit better relations with the Tanner Coalition. Let's take a look. So you do like me. You're very happy. Generally, she is disliked. This isn't like this opinion of me, her reputation generally, how happy she is. So for me, for example, I'm slightly liked and I'm, half and half happy. Yeah, we're fine, basically. We have connections, though, to the Tanner Coalition, I think. Right? I'm pretty sure I do. Over on this side. So you're married to... So, like, my brother is married into the Ramirez family in the Tanner Coalition. I don't know why their family names are all different. So my sister-in-law, Alice, is still part of that family. Emil York, part of an unknown house on Arcab, but he is not in charge as well. So we can kind of see there the people, if we saw who were in charge, those little spots for the pictures would be filled in. So he's just kind of another, just sort of minor noble family inside. So we're only kind of related to minor noble families inside each faction. So the Tanner Coalition could actually be a bit of a problem for us. We're slightly liked now that I have kind of a diplomatic offensive going with the help of my sister, who's a bit... I mean, overall, our diplomacy is actually pretty terrible. Anything under 100 is actually kind of bad with help, because it's based on my stats plus whoever's in there. So it's not fantastic. We don't have a connection to the farmer territory, so not really too concerned about them. If I was to eat another faction, this is a coalition of like 3 separate. We could try to do things to break this coalition apart, but I'm not sure that's really worth it. And the relations that I have, the family that I'm related to inside of the Galloway Alliance, are all minor nobles on Nair al-Saif. So nothing too crazy. So what do we have? Someone unrelated to me has a weak claim somewhere. A weak claim on what? A weak claim on the Scrooge sovereignty. Okay, well, yeah, that's not going to work. Does anyone have any claims anywhere outside of my territory? That's kind of what I'm looking at. Does anybody inside my empire have a claim somewhere we could maybe try to push somewhere else? That's claims on my faction. Let's look over here. Can I look at claims on you guys? Yeah, if I had somebody in my empire, I'd be able to see the symbol to like know they're inside my empire and had a claim somewhere else inside. What about in your territory? I kind of doubt we have anything of that wonderful. Yeah, I don't even know who a lot of people are. So we need to do like some spying, checking people out, figuring out who everyone is. Like that's kind of a major thing. I've only got one action left. There's nothing I can really do about it. That's fine. I do have people who are unmarried. That might be something we could look at to recruit people. And right now, Mitch, who's I think my nephew that we just rescued, doesn't have anybody taking care of him. That'd be something we might want to do. But for right now, I think we're good to go ahead and intern. All kinds of crazy stuff will happen. Duke Consort Belle Scrooge is a good woman. It may not have been what I expected when we got married, but Duke Consort Belle Scrooge has been an attentive wife, and I have come to care for her deeply. It's good to have her by my side. Your wife is still in love with you. I mean, that's certainly helpful. Keeping her loyal. Event pop-ups. You can change event pop-ups. That's fine. Do that, I guess. Whatever. All right. So what do we have? Sir Pally Sutton has fled Terrabellum, afraid that Baroness Marie Price will move against him. Sir Pally Sutton is a claimant to root Terrabellum and is terrified that Baroness Marie Price will eliminate him and his family. He's the last of his wealth without Sutton to book passage to Mirzam. How Sutton now resides on Mirzam. So he switched to their faction and bailed. Interesting. That can go away. I keep trying to move the map with my mouse. Oh, we've got more vision now. So there's another faction up here. We can kind of see the Diaz Alliance. Definitely would like to expand, but I also like to make our core a bit stronger. Nair al-Saif. Silver McIntyre is the one I'm related to, and an unknown person have forged an alliance through the marriage of Torrin McIntyre and an unknown person. Okay. Unknown person and Silver McIntyre forged an alliance. Yeah, that's fine. Is there anything else in the general area? Not that I know of. So we probably want to do a little spying at some point and try to piece together what's going on in other sections. I might want to look over here first. Before we do that, let me check and see how we're doing. Unrest is 12. It's currently going down at 6 because I think my father is here, like, kicking heads and stopping things from getting out of hand. Up here it's at 27. It's probably just barely... Yeah, it's going down 0.2, even with help. Terrabellium. It's already low. I'm not too concerned about that. Low. Izar is a bit high. It's going up 1.5. That's kind of bad. If I help them keep things under control inside their territories that they control, they do like that. It does make them happy. So we could quell and rest. I don't know that I have anybody who's good at it, because there are already people who are already doing other jobs. So yeah, I could have her do it. It would be minus 0.5. It would make him happy, even though it's not very effective. But I feel like it's kind of a waste. So let's not do that. Let's go ahead and get somebody watching over Mitch. I think that's something we want to do. So let's appoint a guardian for him. He's my nephew. I don't know what he's going to be good at, but who I decide will kind of help. We could have my father do it. Maybe military. Give him a military focus, potentially. Let's do that. I think that will be okay. Unless he wants to try to kill my daughters and take control of the sovereignty later in time. What I would like is information. I mean, we can just demand stuff. It will tell us what will happen if we ask. You know, we ask politely, he'll say no. You know, kind of thing. Plan attack, acquire claim, run a spy network. I wouldn't mind getting some information, but we probably want to go like the capital. Go to Arcturus. Is going to take all my cash, though. I could just wait. We could also work on acquiring claims places. If I went for Wazin with a claim. Yeah, it's going to cost me no matter what I do. I don't think there's anything I can do on my homeworld for 15. If I don't do actions, I think I get extra cash. Yeah, each one unused will turn into 0.5 cash. So if I just don't do much, we can actually build up a bit more money. So it's sort of like, even though I am being trained, it's sort of on them to train me. It doesn't take too much of my time. Mainly, I'm just focusing on that. Now, I do have marriages we could do. My father and my sister both could be married. So my sister, if we could bring somebody into the family... I could also have her go try to improve relationship with somebody. Wouldn't be a terrible idea. We could try to find a partner for her. We could bring somebody in from outside. He would join my house, which is a bit of a problem. I think we've got room for one or two more because of our money income. If we could bring somebody in from another region, that might not be a bad idea. I don't want her to leave, so in this case, like, she would leave. I mean, I know he's kind of dumb. That's the last symbol. I'm not sure what the other two are. He's only 16. So usually the better matches are higher up. Yeah, I don't think my sister wants to marry my father. That seems odd. I don't know if there's anybody that great. He's pretty generic. Nobody who has any real standing, unfortunately. My sister is 43. So an older person would be fine. But most of the options are quite young, it looks like. Yeah, everybody's just pretty generic. What is this? Satisfied. Yeah, I don't know that I'm in a rush to have her... There's no good options, really, for marriage, so I feel like that's not worth messing with. I do have a couple people not doing anything. We could try starting a spy network, of course. Mirzem has an asteroid belt. Gas giant there. Nothing special over here. I mean, we could one jump to Arcturus and potentially take it out if we wanted to just conquer the Galway Alliance. Then throw a puppet on the throne. Like, that's potentially something we could try to do if we wanted to. I feel like we should build up, though. Is ours pretty weak? Most stuff costs at least 30. What do I have in my homeworld? 60, 120, 240, 60, 60, 120. I think something gives me some extra wealth. But everything looks like it's costing me quite a bit. 1 wealth for 60. Wealth and 5 administration. Repair platform, actually, that's pretty good, but it does require a lot of cash up front. So as much as I built this family and my main character here to be very good at collecting money, we have not collecting anywhere near as much money as I was hoping. It's definitely a bit of a struggle. So yeah, there's nothing really that I want to do because I want to keep my money, but we should probably get a spy network set up somewhere. Gradually reveals members. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's worth doing. My wife's busy rebuilding the fleet for the moment. Mainly, I just want to know who's there. Yeah, she's not very effective. But if I just want to know who's in the family and where they are, I think that's fine. So we'll set that up. But I don't think I'm really going to do anything else, honestly. The other people that I have that could deal with unrest and stuff are all busy. The ones that are left just can't do it very effectively. It would be almost no point. So I think I'm just going to hit intern, get some extra cash that way. Duke Lazarus Galloway has been murdered. Okay, that's crazy. It's going to cause a succession crisis, all kinds of weird stuff going on. I mean, I didn't do it. Duke heir Kami Galloway inherited the Galloway Alliance. He has legitimate claim. Okay. Acting Duke Galloway has taken over the rule of the Galloway Alliance until Duke Kami Galloway is fit to replace him. So we might want to send some people over to talk to them. Duke Dwayne O'Neill has become Archon Wenda Tanner's vassal. So I think just... Did he eat that territory from somebody else? I'm not sure. No, that was their capital anyway, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe a direct vassal rather than secondary. Emil York is dead, so my one relative over here that I had is dead. In Wazin, it's been a flare-up of dissent. That's fine, I don't care. Down here. Levy to fine on your subjects. Fine, yeah, go ahead and piss them off. That's a great idea. Since there is a new person in charge, got the acting duke and the actual duke. Acting duke could improve relations with the acting duke. Not a terrible idea. Might not be a bad thing for my brother to do instead of training me pretty ineffectively. He's an okay diplomat. But I could also send my sister. Let's do that. He has okay opinion of me, but that should be fine. So yeah, she's also got kind of a very mediocre opinion of me. We could also do the same and try to improve relations. I don't really have anybody free to do that unless I have my brother take off from what he's doing, so I'm gonna just call it good. It's part of why having a big family is actually nice, because you can only do so many actions with them. DeCrux is looking pretty good on unrest. I could take my father off of that. How's everything else going? Unrest is up to 25. 27 up here, even though we are working on it, but I'm only reducing it by like 1.3 a turn. It's probably still positive. Nope, holding steady, even with the crackdown going on. With 22 resources and gold, I really can't do anything. I need at least 60 to start repairing something. We are rebuilding the fleet. I don't think that actually makes a difference for our money. But just out of curiosity, yeah, we're up to 65, so we've built like 4 ships in a turn. Yeah, I don't think there's much else for me to do. We just have some people we could marry off, potentially. If I was going to marry you off... What are your options? So we could bring in someone. She's only 16, married to a 65-year-old dad. Yeah, I don't think I want to do that to you. And I don't want him to leave either. She's in her 50s. Wow, she's really good at security. Holy crap. She's friendly, greedy, and a rule breaker. Very good at security. Like, that is crazy good. She's currently in the Galway Alliance. She's actually a Galway. Would she actually be interested? May accept. So it's possible. Do I have room in my family, is the question that I have. Yeah, we've got 4 spots. So, yeah, I mean, it's tempting. I don't know that she would. She's actually the head of security for House Galway, it looks like. Which makes sense. She's very, very good. My current head of security, though, is my wife, and I can't really replace her. Your wife or spouse pretty much always needs to be in, like, somewhere in the board of directors. And even if I want to switch her from one spot to the other, she'll get really mad at me in the meantime, because I'll be like, I have to fire somebody and then switch. So she'll get really pissed off temporarily. So I don't really want to do that. But I could have her run spy stuff. I don't know. I don't think she would accept, but it's interesting. It takes a big tool away from the Galloways. Let me see if she'll go for it. We'll ask politely. Alright, Acting Duke has refused. Yeah, she's just too useful. That's understandable. We asked and he said no. Yeah, that's fine. Just thought we'd give it a shot, because why not? And if I could take away something from him helping his security, that's definitely not a bad idea either. So we have a chance of discovering secrets. But mainly I just want to kind of know who's where and what around the various different parts of the Galloway Alliance down here. Yeah, we don't know too much about anybody. Capital wealth, security wealth, administration, security wealth. So we have a pretty good colony, actually, ours. Hidden Hangar doesn't really do a lot. Technology's nice. Personal protections, whatever. But yeah, some extra money and administration would be very helpful. Rebuilding fleets faster, potentially. Yeah, I just don't have much for me to do at this point. Let's take a look how we're doing on our stats. So I think I've gone up like, I think I had a 1 diplomacy originally, so we've gone up to like 3. I'm not getting a whole lot. Events can affect this as well. We are improving my military as well. I think military's gone up 1. So if we can improve, we are only 26, so the more we can improve and the longer we stay in charge, the better it is for us. You can't really check on your kids to see how they're doing. You just kind of know that like you're definitely shaping them, influencing them until they come of age. You don't really know how they're going to turn out though necessarily. I wonder if we could get like we could start getting claims on stuff potentially. This would be a good choke point, although it'd be bad for us too. Greater casualties in battle. If we could fight. My idea when I built this family was lots and lots of cash, go high on technology as well, and then trying to focus on using money rather than fighting ability, and if we have to, just buying mercenaries to fight. But I'm not sure the technology is going to come together. We're trying really hard on money, and it's just not really coming together. We'll see how it goes. Technology, I mean, we're okay. So we get more happiness. We get some expedition points. Passive skill increase is pretty good at 8%. So that's probably part of it, actually. 8% passive skill increase of our Duke. +1 maximum valor, vassal because of the tech as well. But we're under vassal limit now. So it might not be a bad idea to try to get a claim somewhere. But we want it to be connected. We can't really go for Arcturus. Oh, we could maybe conquer Arcturus and then install a puppet. Like, that's potentially an issue. How much military do you have? 66. So they are quite strong. At that distance, I can only really effectively send out about 18 ships. That's something that really is a big difficult thing with this. The more jumps you are from somewhere, the fewer of your ships can actually make it. So you really need to be just massively strong. They're going like crazy heavy into frigates, which is interesting. And I'm mostly bombers, which actually kind of is good for me if I wanted to do that. Huh. I've got pretty good military, so potentially like that's an option if we went after Wazin. Yeah, I mean, he can send just a ton. I can only send about 27. So I only have 2 that we could send stuff out to. It's not very much. So yeah, we're pretty much stuck fighting defensively for a while. I think we've done what we can. I don't think there's anything too crazy. Did you split off something? The O'Neill Alliance. Are they? Yeah, they're part of the Tanner Coalition. So there's just like a one system little empire over there. If I had a connection to the farmer territories, oh, there's 7 systems. Like, we're only 5. We're actually pretty small. 10 systems. 5 systems. Yeah, I kind of feel like we need to merge with the Galloway Alliance or something. But people generally don't want to do that. There's no way he's going to take this. And we can't join like an alliance, really. There isn't a thing to do that. I could try to assassinate him. But he's just the acting head anyway, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, there just isn't much we can do. If we're much stronger, he might agree to vassalage. Or we could offer something in exchange. But yeah, there's just nothing I can really do at this point. Alright, let's go ahead and just burn through another turn. We'll just get some extra cash with my extra actions. So nothing major happened. Something happened in Arcturus, though. The wife of the acting duke is pregnant. Okay, is that going to change anything, I wonder? So we're down to 0 unrest, so we can go ahead and stop the action that we have going on. Doesn't cost us anything to do that. We could switch him somewhere else if things are a problem. So if we do have somewhere where there's a lot of unrest, I mean, DeCrux is currently at 0. It's going to go up 1.9. That's actually quite a bit. Is ours up to 27? 27. We could go ahead and just crush that up here, I think. We'll call unrest. We'll throw my dad in there. Get that under control. So we'll get it dropping a bit. Up here in Electra, it is going down. It's basically just going to hold stable as long as we have someone doing that. Nothing else crazy. We just have the 2 people we could marry off. Rebuilding the fleet still. Is that worth doing at this point? We're up to 68 out of 75. I think it was like one or 2 ships more than last turn. Quelling unrest. Improving relations with Galloway. How is that going, by the way? He's got slightly positive opinion of us. Running a spy network. Getting some training. Nothing too crazy. That's about it for my entire family. So my reputation is definitely down. So I think everyone who's the head of the household, I wonder if this is just head of household or if it's all of my people have -10 reputation. I am not sure. Don't have any guests. My direct vassals. I can't see from here whether they like me, just whether they're liked and how happy they are. But if I'm helping them out, they should be relatively happy. Let me check. Opinion is mediocre. Baron Hobbs. Yeah, barely in there. Baroness Dixon. Negative, actually. She's the ruler through some kind of violent action. Proud and cowardly. But charming. So, I don't know, we could actually try to get her to like me more. I don't want a vassal who hates me, or dislikes me, honestly. Yeah, we could maybe do something like that if I have anybody free, but I don't think I do. So, improve relations. But I have to pull somebody off. We could take my brother off of what he's doing. Yeah, nothing else I can really do. My brother really isn't getting me a whole lot. He's a diplomat. So I should probably use him for diplomacy instead of training me in diplomacy. So let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, it's inside our own empire, so travel, that's fine if you want to. Nothing too complicated. We are going to be seeing more and more of the entirety of everything as we advance out here, tech and size and stuff. We're at 42, I need 60 to do anything. I can build stuff on other worlds too, which will make them very happy. Speaking of which, I just want to check and see my income. Base income's 5. Our tax income's not bad. We're quelling unrest, cost me a little bit. Yeah, I think we just kind of rely on all my extra actions to give me cash, just sort of like doing stuff to kind of keep things running smoothly inside the Empire. We've almost got an expedition here ready, so some kind of special event. Let me go ahead and save it, and then we'll do that, I think. We'll just hit end turn and see what happens. I think that's going to trigger. Maybe? Yeah, one turn to next event, whether it'll trigger next turn or not. And we'll probably just kind of see what happens at the beginning and call it good. The armory in Gurtab has been repaired. So armory, plus 10, base effectiveness, personal protection, within 3 star lanes. Very nice. Thank you for doing that. So they fixed that up. We were out on maneuvers, Baron Gillen Hobbs reports, when we discerned a large object on our sensors. We do not realize just how large. The visual feed switches to a ship, but one larger than you've ever flown in. It must be pre-collapse, but you had no idea they built ships this size. As you know, quips Baron Gillen Hobbs, I'm entitled to half its value as the discoverer, but I'd prefer to study the entire ship. We could buy it out from under him. We can sell it for a profit or study it. Let him do it if he buys me out. Give it to him, makes him super happy. I don't think we want to do that. Despite just now getting enough cash, I think we want this ship to do stuff with. So I'm going to buy him out. Your technical team survey the vessel. Their report when it comes in is hushed. This was a floating city as large as 10 frigates, though it's curiously light on weaponry. Further study might yield more insight into its function. Your quartermaster suggests that if you are light on funds, scrapping it would net a tidy profit. So if we scrap it, we get 60. I think, yeah, let's... Adds the ancient vessel technology trait for 20 turns. So plus 10 to our technology score for 20 turns. Yeah, let's do that. Your teams pick the Titan clean. The ship originally carried fighters and interceptors within its bulk, a floating spaceport. Your technicians report a number of references to the pre-collapse League of Spacefaring Nations. Insignias, watermarks, medals of the dead. She must have been a League warship. She was wrecked when the sun went nova, explains the lead tech. They tried to outrun it, but even a giant can be felled. We've picked her clean, my duke. What should we do with her? Scrap it for 60. The Titan was a floating city, and we could live in her bones. The vessel will be told to your Hoden system. Once repaired, it can be used as living space. Adds repurposed warship onto Crux. Plus 1 wealth, plus 1 house size. Yeah, let's do that. The giant stirs. Not by her own efforts. You have your towering fleet to thank for that, but she stirs nonetheless. In a few weeks, you ease her into a stable orbit and welcome families on board. You're unsure how the League would feel to see thousands of common folk camped out against its bulkheads and hatchways. If repaired, this living space could house thousands of your people. Whispers within Arcturus have reached your niece's spies. Your niece has acquired a string of contacts among Viridium suppliers and shipbuilders. If she spreads rumors that Viridium supplies are drying up, they might hoard their materials, hindering the construction of new ships. I mean, we could get found out. Yeah, 61% chance that the acting Duke finds out and gets ticked off. Creates a secret. Yeah, it's not the right time. Okay, we've got a few things up here. Baroness Dixon is very ill. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate because I'm currently trying to make her like me more. Down in Izar, Baron Winifred Blackwell and Baroness Maria Price have strengthened their alliance through marriage of Ace Blackwell and an unknown person. So the families in Terrabellum and Izar, that should be okay. I don't think it's going to be a big problem. Nothing here. Wait, did you lose? Yeah, they lost Mizab. You'd think that would be more important. The Jackson Kingdom, so split off from the Galloway Alliance. Galloway Alliance is looking kind of weak. So our new thing that we have, the repurposed warship, it's another 60. We've got a lot for 60 that we could do. I just need to get that first cash going. We're still at 68 ships, nothing too crazy. Could make them paranoid to get a claim. But they're looking kind of weak. Could demand his vassalage, but he's not going to agree. Demand submission. I'd have to probably go in, knock down the capital for that to be something that would work. I'd have to like plan an attack for multiple turns, build up cash for mercenaries, like all that kind of stuff. It would be a whole mess. What do we have down here? Current income could support a larger house. I am trying to have a kid still, I think. Right? Yeah, I literally have to pay to stop trying. So we are trying. I'm still pretty young. My wife is still young. Interesting. Our tech has gone up a bit, I think. So the more technology we get, the more of these kind of special events we have, these expeditions. Our security's not great. Diplomacy's mediocre. Military's quite good, but that's like almost entirely thanks to my father. 62 of this 116 is because of him. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could try to take something, like maybe try to get Wazin to flip or something, but we can't hold it if they go after us militarily. Like, because he's one, like, even 2 jumps away, he can get 71 ships here, and I can only get 27. And Izar can only get about 16. Now, I want to look. Izar. Fleet. Can I help you build up your fleet? I can. It's only improving defenses if I rebuild fleet, though. What's your... Yeah, if I look at Izar, it's just kind of showing... Looks like only 1 more ship he can have, that's about it. So it's not really much point. We're still sitting at 68. So even though I'm doing what I can, plus 20% military replenishment rate, it's very, very slow to rebuild, to try to get that up. I think as you get higher, the harder it gets. Yeah, I don't really have a clear path to expand unless I want to try to poach stuff. But Mazam is so far away. Well, I can get 42. We can get 60 some odd ships here, but she's got 121. Like, that's ridiculously high. I could, maybe... spread dissent, cause problems. And then maybe it would go independent. But that's kind of unlikely. It's only one away from their capital, so we're kind of hemmed in, unfortunately. I don't really see a clear path out of here. Still don't know who's in charge here. Wow, unrest is getting really high. Some of these places, it's 87 there. Like, they might go independent or, like, fight anyway. Mazam is at 41. So, yeah, we're actually keeping things kind of under control. All right, I think we're doing okay, but I'm worried about long-term how we're going to go, because we've got a big coalition next to us. A pretty big territory. This one does have to go through the Galloway Alliance, but they definitely could. Like, these guys might suddenly flip to them at any time. They might just go like, yeah, fine, we'll just join you. In which case, we're kind of screwed. I can join another alliance, but getting out from underneath another alliance is really difficult. If I could propose to, like, make an alliance, but then somebody's got to be in charge of it is the problem. And nobody wants to do that. So yeah, I'm worried about our long-term situation. But for right now, the Scrooge sovereignty still exists for the moment. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. So this has been more of Star Dynasties. I've been Disturbing Puppet. Thanks for coming by. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Until then, have a good one.